You need two things to be able to step into your purpose. And the first one is understanding what is it that you stand for. And secondly, understanding what makes you stand out. Those two things boils down to the issue of the values and the strengths that you need to be able to move towards the type of life that will change everything around you. My name is Botaki Hlalele from Dreams Made Possible. We are here to unleash your purpose and to help you reach your potential. Let's look at the first point, which is what makes you stand out. You know, on everyday basis, we are faced with life experiences. We need to make decisions, and we find ourselves on the crossroads. And when we make these decisions, they either take us in the direction of the life we want, or they pull us back from the life that we so much deserve. That is why it is important for you to know and understand your values. Your values, they are so important in a sense that they can tell you now which direction your life needs to take or not. They communicate what is important to you, but also they give clarity in terms of what is it that you need to focus on. But then they also define for you which type of relationship you need to enter into, which ones of those relationships you need to continue, and which relationship you need to sever. That is the value of having values. So effectively what values do when you have them, they help you so that you don't wander around and feel blown all over the place like a paper is flown by the wind. So that is why it is important for you to have the values, because they mute the noise around you, but most importantly, they mute the noise that is inside you so that you are able to live an effective and fulfilling life. Maybe let me make it easier for you so that you understand the whole concept of values. And I will try to share two examples from which you need to look at your values. You know, when you go down to Dubai, it's a beautiful country. But I don't know if you know that Dubai was a desert a few years ago. But when you look at Dubai today, it has got more than 230,000 skyscrapers. These are tall buildings. And you might ask yourself, how come that these buildings can hold firm in a desert? Let's just take one example of those buildings, the Burj Khalifa. The Burj Khalifa stands at 830 meters tall, and it has got 163 floors. Now the question is, what type of foundation is holding such a structure? So the foundation of the Burj Khalifa is made of steel and concrete. Almost 43,000 cubic meters of concrete, weighing 110,000 tons. Now think about it. That foundation is so strong, and that is why that building is able to stand up, because it rests upon a strong foundation. Take your values like that. If the foundation of any structure is not firm enough, soon enough, that structure is going to crumble. So your values should be as strong and go deep, 50 meters down like the Burj Khalifa does, so that it can hold the structure that is going to be on top of it. And that structure could be the volatility, the complexity, the uncertainty that life throws at you. Now imagine if life finds you without the strength that the foundation of the Burj Khalifa is demonstrating. Then you are going to be tossed from pillar to post. You won't know which direction to follow. You won't know which areas of your life to focus on. And let me just make you another example. The former CEO of Coca-Cola, Brian Dyson, made a very, very great speech, an educational speech as far as I'm concerned. And he was talking about 5 balls. The first ball being work, the second one being family, health, friends, and spirit. Those are the 5 balls. But When you look at your life, you start to realize that some balls in your life are made of glass and some balls are made up of rubber. And then you realize out of those 5, work is one of those balls that is made up of rubber. What did Mr. Bryson had in mind when he said work is made out of rubber? What he meant is that when you drop that ball, which is work, there is possibility that it will bounce back. And it can even bounce back a couple of times back into your life. You can lose one job and then go look for another. But when you lose your health, your family, your friends, and your spirit, those are glass balls. And once they drop, they break, and they will not come back as full as they were before they dropped. So they will definitely break down. So it is important from your value system to understand, what is it in your life that is made of glass? What is it that is made of rubber? Because those things that are made of rubber simply means that you don't have to spend most of your time on them. Why engage more energy and effort into the things that are not going to take your life forward? Rather, protect things that are glass in your life, that if they break, they are going to disappear. Protect those things, which is your family, your sense of self, which is your friends, which is your health, the things that are going to take you forward. So that is why values are so critical. So I've said there are 2 things. The first one is understanding what makes you stand out, which is the values. The second point that I'd just like you to put as an ingredient into your life for you to be able to step forward is understanding what makes you stand out. You can probably think of a few of your friends. You can think about yourself. Or you can think of a conversation that you had with somebody that found it difficult to articulate to you what is it that they are good at. People lose opportunities because they might not see how they fit into the bigger scheme of things because they cannot articulate what is it that they do well. I've come across people in interviews, when you look at their CVs are very good. But now, instead of them articulating that which they are good at, they come short. And sometimes it's because people do not understand what is it that makes them unique? What is it that makes them different? So, an organization like Gallup has run a study on the whole issue of strengths, which is what makes you good. And they found that people who know their capabilities, who know their skills, who know what they are good at, they are more self-aware and they are confident and they become productive in what they do. So think about that. If you know what is it that you are good at, you will be able to identify the type of career, the type of passions, the type of goals that you are going to pursue. But like I said at the beginning, these 2 things, they go together. You need to understand what makes you stand out, but also you need to understand the second part, which is what makes you stand out. Once you understand those 2 things, then you'll be able to challenge the monster that life is. Think of what the legendary Mike Tyson said. Mike Tyson said, everyone can have a plan until they are hit in the face. Meaning that once you are hit in the face, and he was talking about this from his experience as a boxer, that you go into the ring with this plan, how you're going to approach the fight and how you're going to navigate the 12 rounds. But immediately as somebody hits you in the face, you end up losing that plan. So such is life. Also with life, if you don't have the plan, in this case, if you don't know your values and you don't know your strengths, life will hit you and everything will evaporate. Everything will seem like dark clouds hovering over you. So take those 2 things into your arsenal of all the tools that you require to be able to step into your purpose and change your life. So as we end this version of the discussion, continue to click on the link below and subscribe if you resonate with this content so that we can continue on our mission of sharing knowledge and empowerment. you have what it takes to become a greater version of yourself. Thank you.